You, a Technomancer, right? Get the hell out of here. You surge around here, you're gonna fuck up my baby for good.
Just like you don't spontaneously combust, we don't spontaneously surge. Is that you on the poster?
Yeah, name's Amelia Reacher. We're discoverers one and all, like father, like daughter. Why? What's it to you?
Well, me and my men need to get to a site on one of Aurora's shadow paths. Heard you'd make that happen.
Wish they gave me a heads up a Mancer was coming along. But orders are orders. I can take you whenever you're ready. First rover trip?
Yeah, first time this far from Ophir.
Nice! How's it feel?
Exciting, I guess. A little terrifying to go this far without having the protection of a shadow path, but life's about the adventure, isn't it?
Took the words out of my mouth. That's why I love my job so much. Life's too damn short to play it safe.
You guys doing okay? Nervous about the fights we're gonna face?
The fights? What fights? I did not leave my home and laboratory to foray into battle, child. Did someone tell me this? Because I don't recall being...
We needed a doctor with us, Scott.
Yes, I understand. I do. But fighting it's dangerous. People get hurt, and I guess that's why... I mean, of course, I will care for you. But no fighting means no wounds to you.
Yeah, I can't lie. Yeah, it scares me. How big's the fight we're looking at?
Aurora's troops and Technomancers. We'll have to be tactical about it. Hit them in small groups, since there's not a lot of us. But we stick to that plan, and we should be fine.
Sure, yeah, I'm sure once we get there and we get to doing and not just thinking, I'll be fine. It's the thinking that wreaks havoc.
This ain't my first rodeo, Lieutenant. Being on a rover is pretty neat and all, but still, no different from past missions. Hit an enemy, get hit back. Find ourselves down deep in Shit Creek and then wait for backup. In other words, it always goes tits up. But when you've been in the bad long enough, you get used to it.
Did you just call my baby pretty neat? That's it? Pretty neat?
I didn't mean, it's swell. Real swell.
Holy shit. I think you guys plucked this fucker from the farm before he was ripe.
It's huge. Really just shows how big a scale Aurora thinks on. Alright, let's focus on finding the tunnel entrance. Those structures look colonial. Dome's gotta be close.
What are we looking for in here, Lieutenant? These are strange structures. I've never seen anything like it.
Are you looking for something in particular? 'Cause I don't remember receiving an order to snoop around. Not sure the captain would like it. Anyway, it's just my... man must have mercy. They will die. He does not help. The man must have mercy. They will die if he does not help them. The man must have mercy. They will die if he does not help them. The man must have mercy. They will die if he does not help them. The man must have mercy. They will die if he does not help them.
Here's your way out. I don't know where you're gonna go, but you better get going.
They will never forget the Hammer Man. Never. They thank him.
There's a ton of different chemicals. They must have been using them to make explosives to help out with the drilling. Guess it worked for me too. One charge should be big enough to close the tunnel down. Just gotta be careful. But with the detonator and explosives, I should be able to set it off remotely and make sure I don't blow my damn head off.
You really believe that they'll have left enough to blow up the tunnels here? It'd be very smart of them.
They need chemicals to clear out the access to the tunnels. They have the ingredients necessary to collapse them. Fortunately, it seemed that they were doing construction work on this shadow path. I'm sure we'll find it.
If you say so. I didn't know that Technomancers also played the part of saboteurs in the army.
Technomancer's abilities are extraordinary, and their knowledge too. I'm so lucky to be part of your unit, Lieutenant. I'm sure I'll learn a lot from being with you.
I need some materials if I'm gonna collapse this tunnel. need some explosives to trigger a chain reaction.
A Technomancer from Abundance. And I heard you were all nearly extinct. What are you doing here? What do you want?
I want to come in, and you're gonna help me.
No, I don't think I am. Stop! I'll help you!
I told you you would. Don't know why you didn't believe me.
Here I come.
The dome's in amazing condition, though I doubt Aurora's been taking care of it. I wonder where the relic the merchants talked about is, or even how they found out about it. Well, looks like we found the relic. Doesn't look like much, but the style of writing looks familiar, even if I don't have a clue what it means. You able to decipher it? What is it? It even real?
We haven't been able to decipher it yet, but yes, no doubt it's real. Not sure if I can tell you anything else about it. I don't know what you're planning to do with it, and I don't want to offend you by talking about sacred matters, but You know some knowledge should only stay among Technomancers, right? So, be careful, please.
I know what I'm doing.
What is it? It looks old. We should show this to the captain. It must be important, judging from how well guarded this place is.
It's an ancient object indeed, but I don't think that the captain will be interested in it.
Oh, this is one of those ancient objects Technomancers collect. I understand.
Perfect. Got everything I need to shut this access point down for good. All set. Just need to get back to the rover before setting it all off. Tunnel's gone. Aurora's got no way into Ophir anymore. Mission accomplished.
The intensity of the vibrations is soothing, hypnotic. They make me so tired.
Dear old Scott. My machine's caressing you with rumbles. Sweet talking you. Can't go falling asleep on a battlefield, though.
Thanks to you, the city won't ever have to face another attack like the last. All those people wounded because of those broken shutters. Just thinking about it, I feel nauseous.
It's probably the rover. Gotta get used to the vibrations. Most people fucking puke their ass out their first time.
No, I meant the thought of all the... Never mind.
I really don't get it. This is war, right? Aurora shows up and blows up part of our city, and how do we retaliate? Send a handful of people like us? I don't get it.
You ever do anything but bitch? Successful mission. Tripping a rover. Hell, if I was you, I'd be grinning ear to ear. Why don't you do that? Bitch less, smile more. Sir, I've got, something to ask you.
What can I do for you?
Well, I don't know if you know, but my dad died when I was young. Actually, he disappeared. He never came back from one of his explorations 15 years ago.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Yeah, I don't want your pity, okay? It's not about that. What I mean is, I've never managed to find out what kind of mission he was on and where he had gone. I know he was close to Scott. He was probably even his best friend. That old crazy man doesn't want to tell me anything. He says he wants to protect me. Look, I'll just cut to the point. I was wondering if you'd maybe look in his dispensary for me, see if you could find any of my father's notes or letters or...
I don't know, Amelia. Scott's like a father to me. And besides, you know he's almost always there. How would I even do it?
I'm not asking you to break in or steal nothing. Just keep him busy. And while you are there, you know, just flip through files. I'm sure he kept letters between him and my dad. He's not one to throw anything away.
All right. I'll try to make him leave, but if I don't find anything...
Yeah, I won't blame you. But I know that you're going to find something. Hello, Mancer.
Hello? Do you know Captain Eliza?
What a woman. Nothing gets by her. Too old-fashioned and boring. She doesn't laugh often, but at least she's fair. She's your captain, right? Believe me, it could have been worse.
Did you get to meet Colonel Victor?
Yeah, once, during a medal ceremony. Not exactly an open book, but I doubt anyone questions his die-hard patriotism. Why are you asking?
He came to talk to me. I wonder what he has in mind.
Is he freaking you out? You one of those people who are afraid of being watched? Don't be. He was most likely just interested in an officer with high prospects. If you're clean, you've got no reason to be worried, right?
Do you know Colonel Mancer?
The one whom your colleagues call Great Master? Sounds a little cultish, huh? I've seen him a couple times. That old man looks nice, but beyond that, I don't know. Ain't easy to figure you out. You Technomancers are always by yourselves. You probably know him better than me.
What do you know about the Vori?
That they're a bunch of assholes. They're behind all the shit going on around the city. Extortion, forced prostitution, corruption. The worst stuff out there, I bet you there's a Vori behind it. If I were you, I wouldn't get close to those guys. It's the best way to end up completely corrupt or completely dead.
You travel a lot. You must know the merchants well, no?
Well, actually, not really. I sometimes see a few of them on remote roads. Those guys crisscross the planet, and not only the shadow paths. They use sand sails, which don't give them as much flexibility as a rover. Still pretty smart, though. They don't even seem to mind traveling at night, unlike most corporate folks, because Mars is their landscape. They know it better than most. Ever hear about their secret city? Dunno if that's true. I respect their being free and well-traveled, but I've never had the opportunity to chat with them. And I'm cautious of people who are not loyal to anything.
What do you think of Scott? You know him well.
Know him well? That's an exaggeration. He doesn't actually say much about himself. Most of the time, he's on his own planet. Before he gets back down to Mars, well, we lose radio communication. He's nice. He regularly checks in to see how I am. He used to bring me gifts when I was young, but he can't help commenting on the chances I take and all. It pisses me off. I like him, but he's not my father, I mean.
What do you think of Jeff?
He's kind of a simpleton, don't you think? Too much of an ass-kisser. I wonder if he's that straightforward. Anyway, he's just a hick trying to get promoted.
Can I ask you about David?
Well, still shell-shocked by the front. I've seen hundreds of them. He blames the whole planet. He's probably not such a bad guy, but by blaming everybody, he pisses everybody off.
I bet you know the slums very well, given it's where your shed is.
Well, yeah, and so what? You must know the place better than I do. I know that you used to be a rogue before, despite a few old, unfortunate shacks that collapsed. It hasn't really changed. It's a sort of ant farm where derelicts who can't afford to live elsewhere pile on top of each other. And there's a lot of ants.
Can you tell me more about the sheds?
You're quite curious. That's where we park, repair, and pamper the rovers. They're under close watch because we can't take any chances with the slums all around. The Vori could sneak in and steal stuff. But we couldn't put them elsewhere anyway. We're not gonna cross the city every time we need to get out. Anyhow, if there's something you should do when you get into my sheds, it's this. When you come in, don't touch anything. Don't get close to the rovers, and if you want something, you ask me.
You must have traveled a lot. Could you tell me more about what you discovered?
You know, when I'm being sent out to explore, it's for prospecting. I drive around, take samples, map out the area, that kind of thing. I discovered 2 mines last year. We'll put them into service once we connect them with the shadow paths. Wow, it doesn't sound as exciting now that I think about it. But I don't care. Despite all of this, I can go almost anywhere. I see landscapes that others will never see, and sometimes I stumble across amazing places. I'm not doomed to remain under a shell of metal.
Hello, Scott. My captain told me that she wanted to see you.
Is it related to you? Are you sick?
No. Not that I know of. She didn't tell me why.
Oh, well, should I take my pouch then? It's an important question. I should still take it though, but it's a little heavy. All right, I'm leaving without it.
think I have a problem with going through your friend's things. I hope whatever you're looking for, it's worth it.
I'm trying to find information about the past. It's personal, okay?
Forget it. You couldn't understand. The officers, they aren't like us. They're above all that.
Hello, Mancer.
Hello? I found some of your father's letters.
I knew it. Tell me.
Most of the correspondence was friendly. They were very close. However, there was some tension between them over time. Some letters gloss over an expedition that they had done together, but what surprised me the most is when your father talks about a boy who was actually Scott's son. The last letter I found is a bit bizarre. I didn't really understand what he meant.
What did he mean? Do you remember?
Your dad begged Scott to stop the madness, warning that his wife's divorce was only the beginning of what he would lose if he couldn't face the truth. That it was too late for his son. He seemed to think Scott was on the verge of self-destruction.
It's true that it's rather mysterious. Scott, a son. Did you know?
No, he never told me about him. He obviously lost him. No doubt it's still a touchy subject.
We have to find out what this is all about. You have to ask his wife. Did my father really mean to interfere in his family drama? Maybe that's why he disappeared? Please, Zachariah!
I'm sorry to... You Angela Seeker, Scott's wife?
Ex-wife? What did the drunk do this time?
Nothing bad. He's a friend.
A friend? Right.
Just looking for some information on one of his friends, Mark, and your son.
Get out! Get out! What right do you have coming around digging up the past?
Listen, I think Mark's disappearance was tied to Scott's research, and your son. And I know you were a researcher too, so I'm hoping you'll be able to help me understand the research better. Maybe even find your old friend.
Scott's belief that science could solve it.
I'm not here to make you relive your pain, and I'm sorry if that's what it looks like, but I'm here for Mark's daughter.
The poor girl. Hard enough to lose things when you're old enough to understand. She was just a girl when Mark disappeared. If resurrecting my pain can help ease hers. I loved our son. Scott did too. But he was never around. He was too lost in his research, lost in the dream of making the discovery of the century, of becoming a hero in abundance. Then, one day, our son started to show signs of mutation. When Scott noticed them, he lost it. He tried to hide him as he desperately dove back into his research to find a cure. With Scott gone all the time, I turned to Mark for a shoulder to cry on. Told him what was going on. So Mark tried to reason with Scott. But you could never reason with him. He always thought he knew more. Then our son was arrested and Scott and Mark just took off on some crazy expedition. Left me alone to deal with it all. So I filed for divorce. I was alone anyway. Then they came back. with nothing to show for all the damn time they were gone. But that didn't stop Scott. No, he just dove deeper into his work. And when Mark disappeared, I was sure it was because of another one of Scott's crazy missions. So tell Amelia, it was Scott's incessant need to be right, to be a hero, that undoubtedly cost her father his life, and that's it. That's all I know.
I'm sorry to... You Angela Seeker, Scott's wife?
Ex-wife? What did the drunk do this time?
Nothing bad. He's a friend.
A friend? Right.
Just looking for some information on one of his friends, Mark, and your son.
Get out! Get out! What right do you have coming around digging up the past?
Listen, I think Mark's disappearance was tied to Scott's research and your son. And I know you were a researcher too, so I'm hoping you'll be able to help me understand the research better, and maybe even find your old friend.
The drive to dissect even the smallest details, to try to understand how and why. That thirst once drove me too, but I let it go. There was no well deep enough to satisfy that thirst. I was never as involved as Scott. In truth, I began to give up my work once we had our son. The focus of my research had been the study of animal mutations with the goal of vaccine production. And always wondered if... Because of that, I had been the conduit that carried the infection to my son. Scott was more interested in genetics and its medical applications. The second our son showed signs, though, I completely stopped my research. If I hadn't told Scott, he would never even have noticed. And his answer was to swear he could find a cure. He really believed that with his work in genetics and mine in vaccination, that we could save our son. But I was too devastated to help him. All I wanted to do was spend every second with our son before he was taken away from us. Which, of course, happened. And Scott and Mark took off on a wild goose chase that he was sure would end in a cure. I didn't get it. There wasn't anything he needed that he didn't have access to in his lab. And while he was off, I was alone, and waited, and eventually got tired of it. So I asked for a divorce. And then they finally came back, with nothing to show for it. But soon Mark took off again to find what I guess were raw materials for research that Scott swore he couldn't find here. And that was the last I saw of him. That's all I know. I never found out what their research was on, and honestly, I just want to forget it all. Please now, can you leave me be?
Hell, I can feel for what the old man's been through. I've known some folks myself who went through the same thing. Terrible thing. Breaks couples up, you know. Stress of never being able to have kids again.
Why never again?
Because they sterilize families who've had a mutant to
the
make sure they don't
slightest
have no
move, you're
more.
a dead man.
Way to protect our own At least now I understand what
Hello, Mancer.
Hello. I talked to Scott's ex-wife.
So, what did she say?
It's an awful story. Her son. Anyway, their son was struck by mutation. They took him away from them, of course, but it made Scott go crazy, and he was convinced that he could find a remedy. He asked for your father's help, so they left together, and were gone for a long time. Their exploration apparently didn't lead to anything concrete for the boy, and Scott descended into madness. And then one day, Mark left. His ex thinks that it was to bring back something useful for his research, and he never came back.
Shit. So my father's disappearance is related to that poor kid? It's really awful what they must have gone through. That explains a lot about why he's so crazy, and also why he behaves as if we were his kids. Thank you, Zach. That doesn't answer all my questions, far from it, but I have a better grasp of what happened. My father disappeared by helping his best friend, who was going through a rough patch and wanted to heal his child. It's a sad but beautiful story, isn't it? I'm gonna think about all this. Thank you again.
Zachariah, a pleasure as always. What may I do for you?
I've returned, Great Master, with the relic from the Aurora evacuation. It's a tablet filled with text, and I don't have a clue how to decipher it.
A glorious day. You have no idea what this means, Zachariah. The language is indeed difficult, and most no longer have the knowledge or ability to understand it. Most, but not me. I will begin deciphering immediately. We will know soon enough the vast wealth of secrets it holds. Jean was certainly right in his appraisal of you. Your worth has already proven to be infinitely valuable. A word of warning, Zachariah. Words spreading about your missions. Things you've been able to accomplish, filled with troubling details that imply you have a mole in your midst. If there is an ASC spy amongst your ranks, he will not only know our secret, but eventually share it back to his master. We will, in no uncertain terms, be lost. All will be lost. So take care. And take care of it. Sooner rather than later.
Thank you for the warning. I assure you, I will get to the root of this. Are you so sure that it's a spy?
Indeed. The details of your mission were so specific that they were assuredly gained firsthand. So unless you are spreading the information yourself, who else is left but Captain Eliza and your men? Whoever it is, make sure they see nothing else. Ensure that our secret is kept safe.
Gotta find that spy. Maybe I should ask around.
You already back, Lieutenant Zachariah?
Captain, all Aurora tunnels were destroyed. If they're gonna get back into the city, they'll have to come up with another way.
I knew you wouldn't let me down, Lieutenant. Find Ryan and get your pay. It was well earned. Colonel Ian Mancer came by looking for you. Hope this isn't going to be a habit, Lieutenant. His problems aren't yours anymore. You're part of my unit now. We clear?
Of course. I'll go see him on my own time, not yours, Captain. Have a moment, Captain?
Depends what you need it for.
Just want to get to know you better, Captain.
I don't usually mix business and pleasure, Lieutenant, but ask away and we'll see which questions I feel like answering.
from Ophir?
Born and raised. Father was an officer. Mother was a quartermaster. And I've rarely ventured outside the walls but for a few scattered missions. Sound familiar, Lieutenant?
Very familiar, Captain. Except my parents weren't officers.
Which makes your rise even more noble, Lieutenant.
How was your rise to Captain earned?
Over time. But by no special action by me. Graduated as a corporal, and thanks to the brave men underneath me, their success in missions became mine in rank. No heroic feats to dazzle you with in stories. Just a lot of time and dedication that I'm proud of just the same.
What do you think of us?
Honestly, Lieutenant? I'm not quite sure yet. You Technomancers are new to me. Undoubtedly special, and capable of feats my other units couldn't dream of accomplishing, but... time will tell. That said, I've been quite impressed. I thought it was the definition of insanity to send you and so few of your men on some of those missions. Missions I would have anticipated needing 10 times the manpower for. So far, you've proven me wrong. A rare feat in itself. So even though it's taking some time getting used to, I couldn't be happier you're one of my troops.
Can I ask about your relationship with ASC?
Tread carefully, Lieutenant. One might start to wonder the purpose of your questions. But here's my answer. We're all forced to work with them, but it doesn't mean I have to be happy about it. Too much power too quickly leads to arrogance. They're brash and too quick to act. And quite frankly, as they've risen in power, it's no coincidence that the dissenters, deviants, and rebels have risen in numbers. They're a great source of intel, however they get it. I sleep better at night not knowing the means. But I've always thought the army was strength enough, that the ASC was overkill. I trust you won't repeat anything I've said, Lieutenant. I'd hate for both of us to find ourselves enemies of the state over a little frank conversation.
My lips are sealed, Captain, and I appreciate your candor and trust, more than you know.